All right, so now that we know what the four-step model is, let's dig a little deeper into what each of those steps means. So the first step in the four-step model is to give precise directions. A lot of times, the reason why our kids aren't following our instructions is because we gave them too many. And they can't remember them. Remember, we're working with kids, and even we as adults forget sometimes what we're supposed to be doing. And so, when you give those precise directions, it should be very short and something that our kids can easily remember. So, tell the students exactly what they're to do, how they're going to do it, by giving the directions that include a voice level, movement, and what activity they're going to be doing. We call these MVPs. Also, consider the amount of time that they will have. And then what materials they may need. So, an MVP stands for movement, voice, and participation. Those are the three things we want our scholars to know before we ask them to go and do something. So here's an example of an MVP that you can use for your morning work. This is a slide that somebody had in their classroom. When you enter the room, unpack your materials at your desk, voice level 1, because we do want to allow our kids to talk sometimes, right? And complete your morning work. And then we're giving them something that we need them to know what to do if they have a question or they need something. So instead of coming over to me while I'm standing at threshold, instead of just sitting there, raise your hand if you have a question. And then there's a time limit. So having that. Here's another example of an MVP that you can use in your classroom. When I say go, open your workbook to page 23, voice level 0, read and solve number 1 on your paper. MVP, movement. What are they going to be doing? What voice level and how are they going to be doing it? So this is super important for our scholars because we want them to really have a clear understanding of what is expected of them. If you sit and you talk for 10 minutes about what you're expecting for them to do, they're not going to remember all of it. So keep it clear and concise. If you want them to turn to a page, level 0, turn to a page, 23, work on number 1. Clear and concise to where they should easily be able to remember what you're asking for them to do. All right, so that's step 1, giving that clear, concise direction. I guarantee that if you start with that in mind when you are asking kids to transition somewhere or to start something, an activity, having that clear, concise direction is the first step for ensuring that they know what they're supposed to be doing. Now it's time to hold them accountable. So narration is the second step. This is probably, I think that this is even more important than step 1 because narrating that positive behavior is going to help kids first remember what they were supposed to be doing, giving them a reminder, and also helping those kids who are off task and are not doing the right thing. So you're going to narrate behavior of 2 to 3 students, especially your difficult ones. If you find them doing the right thing, narrate them within 2 to 3 seconds of them beginning to follow directions. Then, once you've done it, as soon as they go off and they're working, then every once in a while, continue to narrate. So here's an example. We asked our kids to turn to page 23, voice level 0. They're working on number 1. That was our MVP for the last slide. All right. Jacob is turned to page 23. Natalie is working at a level 0. So-and-so is working on number 1. So I'm narrating the ones who are doing it correctly. That's going to help those kids who forgot what page they're supposed to be on, what voice level they're supposed to be on, what they're supposed to be doing. It's going to help to remind them because you're narrating the kids who are doing it. And all the scholars want to hear their name. They want to hear that they're doing it correctly as well. So that positive narration is a very important tool in Nnn because it's going to help to remind those kids what they're supposed to be doing and also kind of reinforce what you've already asked them to do. So it sounds like this. It's a 2-part statement. Keep it very short. You don't want to say, so-and-so is listening. Oh, I'm so glad that you're listening to what I'm doing. Oh, I wish everybody else would do like this. No, it's Darren is silently reading her book. Keep it short. And there's no feeling involved. It's not, look at everybody. Look at Mariah over there. Oh, look at her. She, it's just so-and-so is doing this. So-and-so is doing it. You're doing what I expected you to do. And it's very clear and concise and short.